Welcome back to Couch Collectibles. Hope you guys are having an awesome day as always. Today we're looking at some rare pennies that are worth money. We're going to start off here with the 1954 Lincoln cent. So if you guys have a 1954 penny, definitely watch this whole video. And if you guys are new, feel free to check out all the other coin and collectible videos here on the channel. Let's just hop right into it. Alright, starting off first with the 1954 Lincoln cent. Actually, this is an error. This is not even an error coin. This is an error coin holder. So look at the date there, 1951. Annex messed up on this when grading it. They put 1954. They tricked us, but we'll talk about it anyways. This is a 1951 D mint mark. You can see that the coin has been broad struck and it has that indent there on the right side of the coin. So if we look at the lettering there, you can see the broad strike around the rim of the coin as well as the indent there on the coin also. So we got two different things going on there, and this coin is of course going to grade at a brown, and this coin is graded at an AU 58 by Annex. This penny sold for $57. Interesting that they messed up on that. Alright, so here's a 1954 D mint mark graded by PCGS at a Mint State 67 plus red. So if you guys haven't seen my red pennies versus brown pennies versus red brown pennies, definitely watch that video. Those are different grades that the coin grading company is going to give your pennies depending on basically the coloration of the coin. If your coin's brown, it grades at a brown. If it's red brown, which we show you examples of in that video, it grades at a red brown. If it's red like this, it grades at a red. Now also the grading scale goes up to 70. This is at a Mint State 67. Different between 67 and 67 plus. We got coin grading videos out there on the channel as well. This penny sold for over $7,600, a $7,000 penny. And it looks like we have a small die chip there in the 9 of the date as well, which is pretty cool. But all the value here is in the grade itself, a Mint State 67 plus red. So keep that in mind. If there's not many of them out there at this grade, the grade population, then that's what will increase the value significantly. So here is a 1954 that has a repunched mint mark, RPM. Now this has got a D over a D over a D. So not just one D over a D. Now it's graded by Annex at a Mint State 65. It's sold for $129 on Heritage Auctions. So $129, but here's an example of what that actually looks like. So you can see the D. Well, you see one part of the D going through the middle of the D. And then we see that at the top. You see the top of the D. Look up at the top there. You see that line, that curve. And then you'll also see that other D down there at the bottom, south of the D mint mark there. So D over D over D. Now here's another example of a repunched mint mark. You just got the D going through the middle and up and around the top and then going back down underneath the D mint mark there. Now this coin here is graded by PCGS at a Mint State 64 red. It also has that repunched mint mark, and this coin sold for around $150. Now here is a 1954 D mint mark Lincoln cent 1 penny coin. This coin is graded by PCGS at a Mint State 65 red. Like I said, the coin grading scale goes up to 70. This is at a 65. The coin has been double struck with that second strike being 95% off center, as we see here on the side of the penny here. And this coin sold for over $140. Now here is a 1954 Lincoln cent that was struck through a late stage die cap. Now this is graded by PCGS at a Mint State 63 red brown. Now you can see that die cap there on the front of the coin, the obverse of the coin. And then here on the reverse, it'll look pretty normal for the most part. This coin here sold for around $90. Here's a 1954 that's got a lot going on in this coin. We got a double clip. We got a coin that's been struck 15% off center as well. This penny here sold for around $330. Next up is a 1954 no mint mark. Now this coin is graded by PCGS at a Mint State 67 red. So when I talk about grade population, that's basically what comes into play here, and that's why the coin is valuable. This penny sold for over $23,000. Now, of course, it depends on what the market's like when you sell it, what the grade population of these coins are when you sell it. You know, if someone just comes out and grades, you know, a bunch of 1954 no mint marks at Mint State 67 red or higher, then the values decrease because there's too many on the market instead of not enough on the market. So that's what it all comes down to: supply and demand, grade population, how many of these coins actually exist at this grade or higher. Now, if there's tons of Mint State 66s, there's going to be a huge gap in prices between a 66 and a 67 grade. So it all just depends on each individual coin and mint mark, you know. So 1954 no mint mark is going to have a different grade population than 1954 D mint mark. So $23,000. Now here is actually the mintages for 1954. The no mint mark, they produced 71 million, the D mint mark 251 million, the S mint mark 96 million. So they produced tons and tons of these coins. They're not rare, they're pretty common coins, but they can be rare if you got that high grade or some type of mint error. Now here is a 1954 S mint mark. Now this was struck 5% off center. It's not in the greatest shape. This coin did sell for $40 though, so hey, I'll take it. 40 bucks, but probably not worth getting graded and then selling because you're not really leaving much room for a profit after you pay to grade it. Now this is a 1954 D mint mark that was struck 55% off center. Now graded by PCGS here at a Mint State 62 red brown, and this penny sold for over $130. So you can look for off centers on all kinds of different coins, like I always say in my videos. Now here is a 1954 no mint mark. Now this is the proof penny, so a lot different than the business strike coin. Like I always say, the proof coins are going to be much more detailed. They're going to have that shiny mirror-like finish. You should definitely be able to distinguish a proof coin from a business strike coin. So business strike coins are basically the coins you find in your everyday pocket change. Not saying you can't find a proof coin, because I've found plenty of them in rolls from the bank and even in pocket change in some cases, or even from the laundromat in some cases. This coin here sold for over $13,000 because of that high grade and it being the 1954 proof, a proof 68 deep cameo, man. That's really, really nice. 13,000. Now, this is pretty cool here. I've shown this in some previous videos. 1954S, it's the buy variety. So it's not a super rare coin. The coin only sold for $10, but here's what you want to look for on those coins. People just, you know, collectors like to keep this stuff. It's just a little die chip there, taking place there, die break in between the B and the E. So as a result of that die break, you see that extra metal on the coin, right? And it looks like it's BIE with that extra metal there. So that's why they call it the buy variety. So it only sold for 10 bucks. So those are not going to be super valuable, but collectors hold on to them and keep them. Now here's a 1954S Lincoln Cent that has been broad struck, which we'll see all around the rim of the coin. Pretty obvious broad strike, so it's not super valuable, but it is graded by NGC at a Mint State 64 red, and this penny sold for over $100. I'll take it. $100 penny. Here's a 1954S. This is the same case as all the other high grades. I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain that again. Mint State 67 plus red grade. That's where all the value comes in at, is the high grade, graded by PCGS. This coin sold at auction for over $880. Can't beat that. Here is another repunched mint mark. However, this is not a D mint mark. This is an S mint mark. So the 1954S with that repunched S mint mark. It is graded by Annex at a Mint State 64 red, which is, you know, pretty nice. And here's an example of what that S mint mark looks like. So we got 3 different examples here. You can see the repunched mint mark, pretty obvious there. Or the left side of the S is pretty obvious there. And then here's another example of that as well. This one is much different. You see, if you look to the left of the S, you'll see that line going curved up. That's part of an S mint mark underneath it. So that's a repunched S mint mark. And then we also have this example here. that is different than the other two examples. Use your coin microscopes. I have those available on couchcollectibles.com to see your coins up close. Now this coin isn't really super valuable or anything. It did sell for around $14, but hey, it's still a pretty cool coin to have in your coin collection. Probably not worth grading, but that's the risk you take with grading. Sometimes you're trying to get that very, very high grade mint state 68 or whatever, and you get a 64. So those are the 1954 wheat pennies. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Until tomorrow, I'll see you guys in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.